Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cybernation Uncensored. My name is Nigel. I'm your game master, and tonight we are playing our Blade Runner game once more. Before we get started, as always, this is an adult-themed stream, which will tackle some very dark topics sometimes, most of the time. So you have been warned. Before we get started, and before we get to a recap, let's go ahead and meet our players for this evening, starting with Echo.
My name is Echo. I'm playing Echo Jones, and he is fresh out of the academy, joined up with this group, and he's been on his fair share of adventures, guns pointed at him, plenty of fights, plenty of races, but this is probably the worst predicament he's been in, which is right now running around pretty much in the middle of a firefight with no guns. I'm a gunless hostage, and I'm hoping that everyone can keep me alive because that's important. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
Shockman.
Hey guys, I'm Michael Shockman. I am playing Detective George Stone, the inspector of our RDU team. And I am currently set up in Overwatch with a large, big bore scope sniper rifle, trying to hopefully get one of our people inside to open up the shutters so we can frickin' I can frickin' blast us out of this situation without losing anybody. So looking forward to it.
George Lee.
Hi, I'm George Lee. I play EV1-9.3. That's the number, or just Evie. And I believe I just broke my cover to try and save Echo over here, and maybe I can open some shutters. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, both Echo and Evie won't make it out of there alive. Fingers crossed.
Okay, and Nolan.
Oh my god, it's my turn. It happened so quickly. Hey guys, I'm Nolan North. You can find me in the CNU Discord. You can also find me on Instagram at Nolan_North, where I like to take pictures occasionally, but I haven't really posted too much in the recent late year or so, mainly because I've been trying to get stuff together for Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland, which will be live starting March 25th, and that'll be, what is it? I know it's 7 p.m. Central Time, but I can't remember. I think it's like 2 hours before, 2 hours later for
5 Pacific.
Aren't we still 5?
5 Pacific, and then 8 Eastern, I think.
Time zones.
Besides that, I'm so excited to be a player today, playing Lance Rogers. Just waiting to see what kind of paperwork I might have to fill out.
I don't know, maybe a death certificate?
Probably a couple.
A letter to my parents.
Okay, so
My paperwork should be easy.
to catch everyone up, you were in the middle of an investigation for what was supposed to be a simple retirement order. A rogue replicant who goes by the code Alice, who has taken one of the food processing plants hostage. The hostages, they're all in the room, along with Echo and Evie, who went in unarmed and unarmored as potentially a way to get their trust, maybe. But because Echo's life was in danger, because of some communications that happened and some threats that were made, Evie decided to act and start a firefight against 4 heavily armed and armored people, while Lance is outside, supposed to play negotiator, now has to make a call, which we'll get to in a bit. Echo and Evie are basically hands-free, able to do something, but what you're going to do against 4 people with guns, you're going to have to get real creative. Remember, there's an office room. There are some places where you can dive, but there are 2 people on your left and 2 people on your right. The sniper is positioned across from that room, but the shutters are closed. It's a blackout window. And the rest of you, well, let's see what happens to you this fine evening, shall we? So, Evie has kicked the guy that was about to tie her to the chair. That guy knocks into Alice's hands, a gunshot fires, but it goes right next to Echo's ear, ringing him for a bit. But so far, none of you have been shot. So first things first, we're gonna get you all as part of an initiative order.
That's scary.
Will happen
I know.
Very scary.
The gunshot.
as that. And roll.
Is there an initiative order? Is there like a roll button?
There is an auto roll, but basically, for anyone playing the game, you are essentially just rolling the. Oop, I screwed up something. That is my bad. Hold on.
No worries. You prep this properly because I want to make sure we are all set correctly and we understand our positions. And I don't want anybody to die.
Really quick, does
That's
lower or higher go first?
I believe higher go. Sorry, lower is like 1, 2, 3 goes first.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, we'll deal with that till I have time to fix it. So, one of the replicants gets to go first. At any point, not rules written, but you guys are allowed to forego your turn. Meaning, let someone else. Basically, you're not gonna be able to move or anything, but you're waiting for something to happen before you take an action. Kind of like a prepared action in D&D. You can't do anything else. You're just preparing to do something. So one of the replicants, which is the one that Evie actually kicked, is going to shoot at you with a 20 gauge.
I can take it. Let's do it.
Not you, Evie.
Oh, never mind. She can take it.
With a
I know
critical.
she's strong, but
So, first off, Evie's taking 3 points of damage because you don't have any armor.
Oh no.
And 4 on the critical, which is a piercing injury, shoulder hit, disadvantage to mobility and firearms, but surprisingly, not hand to hand.
I mean, that's good, but oh man. That really sucks on
That's rough.
mobility. I may as well just wear my armor.
Shoulder hit. There we go. It should automatically apply, but 20 gauge comes flying and strikes you just above the shoulder. The shell scatters behind you as you dodge. That means... Oop, that is George's turn.
Okay, quick question. Can I hear the gunshots?
Yeah.
Okay. Then question 2, can I either make an observation check to roughly, and I mean roughly, gauge where the blast was that came out of the gun through like the tiny little space in the shutters, or can I gauge based on the sound where it sounded like it came from?
You can make a shot at an unseen target. Just
Can I
that you
make,
risk
can I make
hitting
an
something.
observation? I'm looking at the weapon, and it says that I can. It says that I can make an observation roll to spot.
Yeah, if there was a... That's reliant on if you have sight. You can try to shoot, but it will count as an unseen target.
Okay.
Which is just a
You can also
disadvantage.
You can also hold your action.
I can hold. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold my. I'm gonna rack around into the chamber and hold my action for as soon as the shutters are opened.
Also, just a reminder, you still have the impaled hand condition, which means that you already have disadvantage on shooting.
I know.
Regardless.
I know.
There are 4+2s, if I recall correctly.
I know.
And
Yep.
in case Silver Phantom is around, he can screw your lives up by giving me a name of someone he wants to show up for whatever reason he wants to throw that in there. So you can hold and prepare shooting in case anyone's able to open the shutters.
Yeah.
In which case, it will be Alice's turn, and she has a magnum pointed at Echo. The same magnum she threatened your life with. I'm so sorry for the critical. Echo, that is 2 points of damage.
Gosh, Echo.
And
You
5.
should have dodged.
He tried. Ooh, bleeding gut.
Oh,
man.
goodness gracious.
So she
got
shot
that.
you right in center mass. You have an open gut
Oh.
wound, which means that if you start moving or do any mobility rolls, you'll reactivate the injury. But since it's already open, that doesn't matter right now.
Like trying to go over and open doors or like do anything.
No, we talked about this before. You can move and do stuff. You just can't make mobility rolls.
Yep. Anything that requires a mobility roll is what you're screwed against.
Yeah.
So she fires her magnum at you. It goes into your guts. Hopefully, you didn't hit anything important. Yes, you'll have to find out when the adrenaline wears off. Evie.
I'm gonna open up those shutters for George.
A disadvantaged mobility roll because you are in the other side of the room.
Okay, I'm gonna use one of those advantages to just roll.
Make a straight roll. Yep. So that's 3 plus
Make a
2's
straight
left.
roll. Okay.
What did you get? 1. Okay.
A success. Yeah.
That is still a success. That is better than nothing. And you don't have to push, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you move up. You try to get the shutters open. Hold on, I need to fix the dice thing. Okay, so you move up. You get the shutters open. You press the button. The blackout windows begin to become clear windows, which means George can now take a single shot.
Okay. What do I see?
The immediate thing visible is the one that shot Echo, because Alice is out of the window's purview.
I think you said that Alice was the one that shot Echo.
No, sorry, the one that shot Evie. Because
One that
Alice
shot Evie.
moved out of the
Okay.
window.
I will immediately use a +2 to make a shot against the one that shot Evie. Even if I miss, I'm still giving them covering fire.
All right, 2 more left.
All right, how do I do this? I'm trying to roll from
Just
the
click
combat
advantage.
tab this time.
Yep, combat tab, then when you hover over the endoscope, there's a D20 icon. Click that. You can you can uncheck hand impaled, which basically gives you disadvantage, so the
Yep.
+2 gives you a normal roll. Just uncheck that.
Yep, I got it.
And then regular roll.
Hey, there we
Base
go.
2 damage. Okay, so the replicant that shot Evie takes 2 damage as a bullet goes flying into his shoulder. It goes right through the glass, shatters it, but doesn't break the full glass. It just goes right through. Hits him in the shoulder, and he starts calling out that there's a sniper. So, Lance, before you do anything, I would like you to make, only because you are the most senior member of this team, and you've been experienced in this, I would like you to make an insight roll.
Thanks.
What was it?
Good. So that's
1. Okay. You have a food processing plant. Not exactly the most money-making thing. And as far as power, when you take a hostage, or when you make a hostage situation, you're either looking to get some money and then a way out, or you're looking to have some kind of power or influence. At least that's your experience as both a cop and a Blade Runner. The thing is, this food processing plant is not the best way to get either of those. This is one of 1,000 plants that really doesn't matter to corporations in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't matter to anyone in the grand scheme of things. And yet they're doing all this, and they haven't made any demands. Your instinct tells you that this is a distraction. And because of the gravity of the situation, there's a high likelihood that your team would have been assigned to this because you're the Blade Runner team. Most Blade Runners work independently, alone. you are the only one that has been assigned a squad because you're to be assigned to some of the most dangerous or high-risk cases. A fully armed group and fully armored group of replicants taking hostages would be one of those cases, where a sole Blade Runner is not enough for this. So, somewhere in the back of your mind, you feel like this is all just a way to get your group, your team busy. Of course, whether that matters right now or not, considering your team's getting shot at, is up to you. It's just that it dawns on you right as you're taking your weapon, potentially about to break in.
As far as the people that I come with, anybody? I mean, I know I came to do negotiations, but was there anybody additional who was in the negotiation van or car?
Nope. You were alone outside.
Oh. I thought he said last week that he brought like 4 guys with him.
I don't recall if I said or not. To be honest,
Pretty sure you were
but,
supposed to. You would have had to roll your connections for that, but for the moment,
probably because
you're being the negotiator outside the building. If you want to run in, it will take you 2 turns, but you can't.
Okay.
I also assume that you're armored.
I would, yes, at least I would want to be grabbing equipment from the trunk of the vehicle, and additionally to that, there's nothing else that can be seen from the outside in, right? Because they are on the second story.
Yep.
Cool. Then,
although technically, by this round, if you run inside, you can make a disadvantage shot aiming upwards towards where the office is. Because you can see some things because the window's now open. You're just at a disadvantage because of the angle and the range.
That is pretty risky. No, I'm gonna tell everybody, please keep your wits about you. This is gonna be real bad. I'm running in, and I'm gonna spend my 2 turns trying to run in.
Okay, so your first turn you run in. PWB has just given everyone a disadvantage, and whoever the next person to roll is. There are still 2+2s running around, but okay. A replicant is going to go next. He is unarmed, so instead he's going to try and restrain Echo. Echo, I need a hand-to-hand roll.
I'm using that to hold in my gut. Hold on a second.
Oh no!
Dang it! I thought that was you, Echo. Oh no! I got all excited.
You just need to tie him in order to not get restrained.
That's all I gotta do.
All you gotta do is get 2
Is there an advantage
successes.
round?
That's it.
There's 2+2s left. You have really good hand-to-hand.
Yeah, I'm just gonna regular roll.
Oh wait, does he?
There you go.
Does he also get the
wow.
-2? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, you do
I
have
should've-
disadvantage. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
You were the next roll and someone gave you disadvantage. I will let you use one of the +2s to cancel it. Unless you want to roll again.
Is that possible? Can I still beat it with a disadvantage?
You can, you just need to make a crit. Otherwise, you can use a +2 to just take that roll you have right now.
Use it.
I use the +2 to counteract.
Okay, so there was one +2 left, but PWB decided to give you another +2 after giving you the negative, so there are 2 +2s here. So
I'm good?
yeah, you're good. He grabs onto you, but despite the bleeding gut, again, all adrenaline and bravado, just break free of it, turn around, and now you know what you're engaged against.
Yeah, I'm a slippery boy now.
The other replicant, for better or worse, is gonna go outside. Basically through the door, past all of you. And he is going to try and make a blind shot at a sniper he can't see. Which is an unseen target roll. He will miss, but he does fire into the shadows, almost hitting George. It just goes above your head and he hits some of the metal. He still hasn't seen you. And that brings us to Echo. For the record, I will allow you, because something is engaged in melee range now, I will allow you to try and wrestle his pistol away from him, because he does have one.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Is he human or he's a replicant, right?
As far as you know, these are all replicants.
This is my...
Sorry, not his pistol, his shotgun. You may try to wrestle his shotgun away from him.
Yeah, I don't want to be turned into a bowl of spaghetti. I need to get that shotgun.
Okay. This I'll give you reflexively because he did try to grab you, so I'll allow you to use a free action to try and grab it from him, but it is force against force.
Absolutely. I'm gonna basically charge back into him. I saw that I was able to get out of him once. I see that he's weak on this. I can take him. I'm gonna keep using my momentum.
I believe there are no more disadvantages thrown at you, so you guys are fine.
I'm gonna roll. Here we go.
He's got one.
Hand to hand.
Yeah, I'll take hand to hand.
Oops.
Okay.
Was it something different?
It was meant to be force, but it's the same dice for you, so it doesn't matter. Because your force and hand to hand are the same. I will give you second shotgun because you take a shotgun, but just roll the shotgun if you want. It's the only weapon you have now. Combat tab,
I'm gonna bang down on bang down on the barrel and kind of flip it around on him and point it right at his chest. And I'm going to slowly scroll over to my weapon tab.
The way this is that he tried to grab you. Yeah, it's the first weapon on your tab, PKDM 1887.
Got it.
He tries to grab you. You break free. As you break free, you grab the shotgun from his shoulder, like it's just slung on his shoulder. You grab it, and then you just fire into him while moving the shoulder strap to the bottom so you can take full control of the gun. Go ahead and roll. 3 piercing. Let's see if his armor does anything. Nothing. That's 3 damage right into his gut, and he flies back a bit as you fire back at him.
Does he need to roll on the crit table?
No, that's not a crit. A 10 and above is a crit. If you need to roll the crit, there would be a table that says crit that comes up when you roll. His armor does nothing. Shotgun blast goes through. First replicant is going to shoot at Evie. Actually, no, you, because you now have a weapon, which is very bad. Ooh, that's 3 damage to Echo again. Just right-click your health.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, how are you doing?
3 and 2.
I am rude. I actually just got kicked out of Forge for some reason.
Uh-oh.
I mean, yeah. So I just
Echo's down to
private game.
Oh, you don't have an invite?
Well, I was in there. I was doing stuff, and now it's all gone away.
Might have to refresh. But
He got hit so hard.
he got hit so hard that he got kicked out. Hold on.
Yeah, it's like getting shot out of the Matrix.
This might glitch this stream, but here, try this invite link and see if that works. Okay, so Echo's 2 out, 2 health left. Just FYI.
Oh my God.
That means it's George's turn.
Yay! The guy who just shot at me, can I... How many +2s do we have left?
2, unless there's something in the chat I missed. Nope, just 2.
Okay, can I spend those 2 to try and bullseye this guy right in the head? And just take him out of the back?
I'll let you make a normal... I'll let you take a normal roll, spend them both. If you hit, it kills him.
Okay. I'll take that.
Or
Come on,
you can make a called shot to the head with a 1 roll and hope that you get enough successes.
No, I need this guy dead. I need
Okay,
this
so
guy
that's
dead.
both of the +2s. Just make sure you hit the roll. No disadvantage, so you can untick the hand impaled.
I gotcha.
It worked?
Hey, there we go.
Okay, let's see. 1 carefully placed shot as he shot at you, and it blows his head into nothing. Like a melon just exploding from a bullet.
I will then go over comms over to LT, and I'll say very quietly and very, very calmly, 1 down, Echo has a gun, Dorsley's engaged, currently engaging, get here quick.
Who's Dorsley?
Sorry, Evie. I do it every time! Every single time!
There's another +2 from Miserable Junkie. So, here's the deal. Alice is about to go next. And Echo is not going to survive that if she hits, which she might. But if Evie would like to spend the +2 to go up an initiative, I will let you.
Oh,
just
absolutely.
for this round. But you go up just for this round.
Yeah.
So that is the +2 from Miserable Junkie, so it will be Evie's turn first before Alice.
Okay. So, what I would like to do?
Yes, what would you like to do?
What I would like to do, I would love to grapple Alice and use her as a, I guess not human shield, but a replicant shield. I would love that if I could somehow like angle myself, because I don't know like where necessarily we are in the space, but if I could like
if you're opposite from the door, so technically you are behind you is a corner of the room. So if you grab her and stick to the corner, she will be the only thing they can hit.
Okay.
That is hand to hand. You've spent the +2, so we are empty.
I do kind of want to like try and shield Echo, but I'm assuming Echo would be too far for me to like kind of drag Alice over there.
A bit, but if you grab Alice, technically they'd go after you because that's their leader.
Because that's their leader.
Protect them a little bit.
Okay. Well, fortunately, I do have advantage.
Take your advantage. She makes a normal. 3. She makes a normal roll. Oh no! Push.
Okay, I'm gonna push it.
Again. Replicants push twice. 1. It's not working out tonight.
God damn.
Let me give the chat 1 second to catch up. There you go. WB gave a +2 if you'd like to roll again.
I would. I would very much like to roll again.
Roll, make a new roll. You're back to 0. That's still 1. You can push for a better roll. I mean, you can push twice if you think you can get better. 1 more push, you might get a 3rd success. You never know. 2. Okay.
Hey DM, I know this is a wild spitballing thing here. I just realized I should not have had to use that second +2 or one of those shots, because I have the sniper perk. Which gives me advantage on single shots with a large bore rifle.
Oh no, I made you use the 2 +2s not for the roll, but to basically kill him.
I mean, for the first shot, I should have had a flat roll.
Did you use it?
Because I have this. We did use the +2 because I was trying to negate the advantage. I was trying to negate the disadvantage from my impaled thing. So we should have 1 more +2 left if Dorsley wants to try one more time.
1 more new roll.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
You are trying to beat a 3. So as long as you get a 10 and 1 more success, you should be good. But I guess you can try a 3rd roll.
So I'd have to like completely re-roll, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Or, if you don't want to roll, I'll let you succeed with the +2. And we'll skip Alice's turn when you grapple her. But you will take an injury. Because of the struggle she's fighting back against. Take 1 point of health off if you're willing to take that trade-off. but you will grapple her for this round. She won't move.
I mean, you're strong, girl.
Oh, I am like.
This is basically you're grappling her. She fights back and she aggravates the shoulder injury. But you do use the superior physical body
wait,
strength.
when you say an injury, would I get a critical injury or would I
No,
just
you take
away
one
a
health
point?
box. You take one health box.
Okay, say less. We're doing that.
Take one health box off, but you have officially grappled her.
Okay.
Because you are in the
That's fine.
corner, she's still out of view of the window, but you do have her restrained, so I will skip her turn.
Okay.
That brings us to Lance. Again, you can run and then make it to the room by this round, but you can also take an unseen shot right now.
You know what? I think I'm gonna Hail Mary it because the reason is like there's gunshots being that are going off, and in my mind, I have two of my folks in there who I assume are unarmed because I don't know what's going on in there. I mean, besides the fact that I know Echo now has a gun, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna take that shot.
Yep. When you click the combat tab, and then you can choose the assault rifle because it has the better range. And then click unseen target, then roll disadvantage. There are no more +2s, I believe. Nope. You can push it.
Miss.
Then you can push it.
I mean, I did. Well, there we go. That's not too bad.
At least it's not a failure because that means you don't hit any of your friends. You fire up, they duck. It goes right above their heads. But you can make it again run. This is my question to you. You are armored. Would you like to run into the room and make yourself a new target?
100% yes. I mean, show of force, violence, or explosion of violence is how you get stuff done.
The door is already open because the one guy went out. So once you step in, they do see you. You are a target. So one of them is going to go after you and the other one's going to go after their boss.
Is there any cover anywhere that for sight lines?
Yeah, so before you enter the door, you can take cover, but that's the reason I was asking, do you want to be a target? Like intentionally putting yourself out there because you know that Echo is basically dying.
I mean,
because if you take cover, they might just go after the people who are already there.
If there's that doorway there, right? So what I want to do is I want to run towards that doorway, seeing what is going on, realizing how bad of a situation it is. I shout, "Hey!" and I like run out just a little bit behind the doorway, not fully into cover, still exposed, but
you want them to look at you.
Yes.
Okay, so one guy's gonna take a shot at you. In the combat tab, you can roll the armor to see if you can negate any of his damage. Just one. Oh, sorry, there's 2 points of damage. So you negate 1, so you only take 1 point. The bullet comes flying. It doesn't pierce through the vest. But it does crack a rib, and you feel that pain. The other one is now going to try and... He can't use his shotgun because you have his boss. Evie, I need you to make a hand-to-hand because he will try and wrestle his boss out of your hands.
Okay.
He does not. He's trying to wrestle him, and then you turn to the side and just kick him back and keep her restrained. Which means it's Echo's turn. You can shoot and then run out if you want to. Like behind cover of the wall outside.
I'm thinking of backing up towards Nolan. I mean, towards Lance.
Okay. Do you want to shoot first?
What?
Because Lance is on one side of the door. You can go on the other side behind the wall and take cover. But you can shoot first if you like.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I don't want to shoot the boss because that's I might shoot Evie. Is there somebody else right next to it?
Yeah, there is one more.
Okay, I'm gonna just. I already got my rocks off shooting one replicant. Now I get to shoot another one. Finally, after like 20 games, this is.
Go ahead.
I'm shooting more. I'm gonna shoot another replicant with my shotgun. Here we go.
Just like the simulations.
No, there's two of them actually. One of them's already injured. If you want to keep hitting him, the same guy you took the shotgun from is there.
I'm gonna double tap him. Yeah, zombie.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
Push. Are there any +2s? No? Nope. Just push.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, wow.
You fire, but the recoil is a bitch and hits you right where it hurts. And you have no choice but to move out.
Yep.
Unless there is a +2 anywhere? No?
I'm backing up.
No. Okay, you're backing up. Okay, you are behind cover. But no, that replicant is dead. George, two of them are in view. One of them's already injured.
Do I see the one that Echo was just shooting at. When I look at the other one, is that the one that's trying to do the thing with Evie?
Yeah, because the one that Echo shot at tried to shoot Lance.
Okay. I'm gonna think tactically, and I'm gonna no, I need to take out the one that's injured. So I'm gonna make a shot at the one. So
regular roll.
Let me check something. Yeah, it'd be a regular roll, but let me check something here really quick.
Did you get a specialty?
I did, yeah, sniper.
No, beyond that, there's something here that says new specialty.
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't add a new specialty.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Just make sure you untick the checkbox so it makes a normal roll.
I gotcha. Hey, there we go.
Oops, what was that? 2 damage to the guy. Okay, now he's hurt. You want to push that, see if you crit, or you're good with that?
Yes, I would.
Go ahead.
And I click both of them, correct?
You just click push. You just click push on the chat.
No, it gives me another thing that says select dice to push.
Well, if you push the other one, you re-roll it if it's a success. So just click the first. Just let the first one push.
Okay.
Because you might lose your success.
Hey.
No, it's just a 5. All right.
Okay.
That still hits him. That still hurts him.
Yeah.
Okay, Evie. Al's now gonna try and break free. So this is another hand-to-hand.
Okay.
Oh, there's a +2 from PW again. If you push that, you take stress.
Yeah, I'll take.
Would you like to take push? You can push that again. You need 2.
Yeah.
Or you can just make a new.
If I push it again, do I get 2?
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Okay.
But
I think it does that automatically. But
yeah, just add 1. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's just. It's still 1. You do have a +2. Again, if you want to make a new roll.
Yeah, I gotta keep her down.
Go ahead, make another roll. Ooh. Push. There you go. She tries to break free. You grab her. She's breaking your grip. So you kick her. You knee her on the side, loosen her hand, and then grip her even harder.
Can I? Because I got 4 successes, can I try and snap her neck?
Dude, come on! That's an awesome roll.
You know? Okay. because she's fighting back, I will not snap her neck, but I will let you break her leg.
Okay, I'll take it.
Let me give a critical
will
injury
take
here,
that.
and deal that as injury, meaning that's 4
Okay.
points of injury, and give her a broken leg. Like I said, she's trying to fight back.
Yeah.
She loosens your grip, so you, instead of kneeing her in the side, you kick the side of her knee and snap the leg. You hear a crunching sound, and then you grab onto her some more.
Good things come to those who wait and who keep pushing.
Yeah.
Now that was her turn, which I will also take as... No, I'll let you have a turn. That was 4 successes with the crit.
Okay.
You want to finish that?
Yeah.
Because now that she's vulnerable, you do have an option to break her.
Yeah, I would
But
like to.
it's also a matter of would you think of questioning her at this point? Although Lance is the only one that realizes what's going on. As far as you're concerned, your orders are a retirement.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, as much
Or do you
as
think
I
Evie would
love...
have the it's up, I'll leave you to it if Evie would have the wherewithal to roll insight and figure out what's going on.
I mean,
as a character, that's
she's
your choice.
definitely a very like insightful, empathetic person. Like that's her one of her highest abilities. So if you'll allow me to do the insight roll to see if I would think about that, okay.
Yeah. That is your call. 1. Okay. Eve, the moment you break her leg, you have her grappled. You are not sure. You're about to kill her. It's your orders. But it just doesn't feel right. You're not as in depth of knowing the ins and outs of the world, but something's up here. Like, why are they defending this place? Why do you take hostages and you don't ask for anything? Like, it doesn't make sense from all the law enforcement training that's been put in your mind.
Okay.
So instead of snapping her, you can try to choke her out if you like.
Yeah. I would like to try and incapacitate her if possible. Okay. That would still be hand to hand, right?
Yep. She has a broken leg. I will give her a penalty, a severe disadvantage. I'll call that another point of injury. And you do have her to a point where she's probably going to skip her turn unless someone breaks her free of...
Okay.
That's Lance now. Evie seems to have realized something and decided, instead of breaking her neck, he's now trying to choke her out.
Oh, good. Excellent. Like, in my mind, just like the little light bulb, excellent, like, pops up. And then with the rifle, I'm going old school. So rifle is coming down on the sling, and then the PKD is coming out. And between the two of them, two who are left that aren't AO or Al.
One is badly injured, one has not been hit at all.
I'm gonna go for the one that hasn't been injured, and only because just because I hope for the best.
Would you like to aim for the head, or do you not have that much confidence in your shooting ability?
That's a good question. Let me go double check my shooting real quick, because
it's a C.
It could be better. It could be better. I am gonna take the...
There are no bonuses.
There are no bonuses left.
We're all out.
All gone.
Because the reason I asked, because he has Kevlar. So the head is the only thing that's exposed.
Yep.
Or the leg, which are both aimed shot.
You know what? We're going straight for murder, because get this done and over with, so we can continue on with our life and figure out why the hell we're here and not where we're supposed to be. So I'm going to take a careful aim here, and I'm going to...
Oh, careful aim means you spend a turn. What you're taking here is small target.
Small target. Perfect.
Ouch.
Very ouch.
Lucky for you, I did say that the hostages were on the ground, so there's no way for you to actually accidentally hit them if you're aiming for the head. So you just fire, and it almost grazes his head. He manages to dodge. You can stay there.
Can he not push that?
No, because all the technically you can't push a shooting roll
Oh, okay, gotcha.
with a PKD, and you've got a guard too. But the replicant that's been shot is not going to do anything. He's going to take his time to go undercover behind a table because he is dying. The one that Lance shot at is going to take a shot back at you. Roll your armor, please. Oh.
This might be it. This is it.
That's 3 damage to Lance. And a critical strike of 8, which means... A moment.
I am broken, by the way.
On damage?
Yep.
Oh, you only take 3.
I don't.
Oh, you took 1 earlier, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And I only have 4.
So there is a +2 here. So here's the deal. A critical strike of 8, and I will read it straight from the book. Brains blown out. Instant death. I
think that's
let you
I
spend...
think that's acceptable.
I was gonna say, I will let you spend the +2 to simply avoid the critical strike, but you are going to be down.
No, I'm gonna go for full death. I think this is what ties the group together. There's like a few moments in characters' lives that just develop their characters and their personalities and who they are and why they continue forward. So this is Lance's moment. He's just out of the world.
Respect that. Okay. So
Not even an hour in.
the shot fires through, and the rest of you, with full view of Lance, just see his head with a shotgun. That brings us to Echo, because you were on the opposite end of the room watching this.
How do y'all feel?
I'm fucking balling, dude. I'm glad I have my sunglasses on.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die. But now, okay, but now it turns out, no, okay, I got my shotgun. I'm going to immediately get back into the fight. I'm gonna come back around the door, and...
Only one person's visible. Alice is being restrained.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of that guy, and I'm gonna keep pushing forward. Yeah, just, I already thought I was gonna die. Someone else dying. Just, my mortality is already in question, so I'm on board.
There is a +2, because it was not taken.
I'm just gonna shoot this guy, right?
Yep.
I think I'm just gonna shoot this guy close by. I don't think there's any reason for me to use a +2 at the moment. So let me just click. Shotgun again. Ow.
Okay. That's a critical. So roll that D10 on the chat. That is 3 on the critical damage. I have to keep this open. Which is... You shot his eye. He now has disadvantage on all shooting.
Yeah, it's a shotgun. One of the pellets.
Breaks right through his head into his eye. Gouge. No, that's right. Hard tap. I. Where's the I? Here's the I. There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell out, "What the fuck? That's not fair." That's it.
That makes George.
Can I see this guy that Echo just shot that just blew
Yep.
one of my best friend's heads off?
Yep.
I'm gonna do the same to him. I'm gonna use that +2 to fucking nail him right in the skull.
Roll with advantage. There's probably no need for the crit. He's dead.
Bam! Bam!
His head blows off clean off his shoulders. Alice can't, like I said, Alice can't move, so that means it's Evie's turn. How does loss affect a replicant? Like
yeah, I mean, I honestly think just for flavor, like Evie should lose a level of stress. Like
yeah.
I think like she should lose and be down to 1 resolve. I think when she sees that it takes out Lance, like you just hear like a deep guttural scream, and it takes everything in Evie to stop herself from absolutely just eviscerating Alice. But his death has to mean something. We have to get something out of it. And since there's clearly, like, we're not seeing the whole picture here, like, we have to know what's going on. So I'm just gonna like everything in me is just like going to try and make Alice incapacitated, even though I want to just bash her head over and over and over into the floor.
Okay. She's already injured, so I'm not gonna make it opposed. You just have to roll your hand to hand.
Okay.
Yeah, she's out.
Okay. Could I have with that, could I have also, like, I'm assuming I have handcuffs or like some kind of
zip ties.
Cuffs of some kind. Zip ties? Okay. Can I zip tie her?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, it would have been Lance's turn.
Don't do that, Nigel.
Lance's turn is on the ground and just an exasperated coming up from the rest of the body, you know?
So, we will deal with that and let you jump in as someone else. But for now, this replicant is going to attempt to shoot Evie since you're no longer holding anything blocking you. He will fail. Is this one? Nope, that one's dead. That leaves Echo.
I'm still, Lance is clearly dead, right? Like,
yes.
He's been cantalouped. Like, it's bad. It's not like just to call the medics or anything.
Well,
I'm just saying, am I looking down at someone who's literally been, graphically R-rated head removed, or is it, can I grab him can I try to get him, get him to the chopper?
Let me recheck the injury he suffered, the critical injury he suffered.
I believe the words were brains were blown out.
Yes.
Yeah,
I did offer you to use the +2. Lance refused.
I saw what happened to RoboCop. That's all I'm saying.
True.
He was turned on.
I did offer to use the +2, but since Lance refused, yeah, he's out. Gotta honor the player's wishes.
Yep. Alright,
Motherfucker, you better not be going anywhere. You better not be leaving our game.
No. I loved Lance. I enjoyed. I'll talk about him later, but
Sounds
Go
good.
ahead.
I'm going to immediately turn my shotgun around, and I don't know how many rounds are left, even if there's a blank one. I'm going to fire another one at this hostage girl who started all of this, and Evie's next to her, but I assume there's enough room that I can fire at this.
Yes. There's only one active shooter left, and he's already exposed himself to take a shot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will shoot that. Here we go.
Because the other ones are dead, and Alice has been restrained.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm not going to shoot Alice. I'm going to shoot the only active shooter. I've got bleeding gut, bleeding friend who's dead.
Bleeding. Yikes. Okay. No, that kills him. Forget the crit. You take the gun and you shoot him, and he flies back into the wall, spattered brains. That is it. So, adrenaline's wearing off. Last shooter goes down. Echo will probably lean against the wall and start to fade a little bit as you're badly injured yourself. You're watching all of this, and it's finally sinking in what just happened. After all of that.
George, being the one who's only other one who's on comms at this point, will immediately tap into, get on his KIA and say, Code 3, officer down. We need paramedics. We need paramedics and help here fast. We're at the meat packing, the protein processing plant on 35th and Palm. Get here now.
There is no need to roll for that, because that is something they will always do. But,
Do they give
what
us
do you
a
guys do?
window of when we should expect backup?
Did they?
You weren't able to call for backup, because you went in...
I mean, like, or the paramedics.
Oh, when they'll arrive?
I mean,
5 minutes.
okay. Evie immediately tries to wake up Alice, because we only have 5 minutes before I have to retire her.
Well, actually, no. You can, given the situation, if you report it in that manner, they'll allow you to interrogate her.
Okay.
Like, they'll allow you to bring her to the interrogation room, given the situation, what you know. So, before I get to Nolan, what do you guys do for those 5 minutes? Alice is unconscious, 3 replicants are dead, and so is Lance.
I would, like you said, I think I would just be, I've got the bleeding gut, I'm sitting there, I'm watching, I see Lance over there, I hear George probably shouting, there's probably some footsteps I hear, I don't know where they're coming from, I hear, probably Evie over there, but at the same time, I think I would probably just make sure that my weapon's reloaded, and kind of push myself over into make sure my back's against the wall, and kind of hold up there. Are there any other hostages around or anything like that?
There's like 20 hostages that are still tied up on the ground, not able to move.
Okay. I'm gonna try to kind of push myself up against the wall, make sure I can, but I still have overwatch over the hostages.
You can heal yourself if you like. Not really fix your injuries. All it does is make sure that you don't continue to bleed out.
Yeah, I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to use that instant fix. I was thinking if I needed it because of the ambulance on the way, but...
If I, instead of using the instant fix, because I was going to go over and like try and hold your wound to prevent further bleeding from happening. If I do that, could I like give him an advantage or like a boost to his medical aid roll?
You can do the medical aid because it does more if someone else is doing it versus if you're doing it to yourself.
And I do have the glue the medical adhesive for you as a replicant too.
That will give advantage for the medical adhesive. And if you take the instant fix, it'll also heal a point of injury, which will lessen his recovery time. So all of these things can add up.
Okay.
So
yeah,
Evie can do it with
I'll
advantage
Okay.
for the medical
I'll do that.
adhesive.
Okay.
And then you can use the instant fix Echo to get 1 point of health. Okay. And then if Echo uses... Oh. Not. It's fine. We'll just remove it. But you can take 1 point of health back.
Got it.
And I'll just be like
Hmm?
trying to keep Echo conscious and keep him from like slipping. But you can like hear that Evie's voice is like shaking and she's like there's just tears streaming down her face. She just doesn't want to lose another teammate.
Okay. Anything else gonna be done here while... And by the way, Echo, like, you're badly hurt, but you're no longer bleeding. The instant fix kind of at least closes up all the wounds, clots up the blood, and Evie's patched you up as best she can.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of reposition myself. The bleeding stopped. Took the pill, and I'm just gonna say, looking over there at Lance and knowing George is on the way. Go.
So George actually. Go ahead.
He'd probably. Would he be there by now?
George will come in and make sure you guys are okay, and stay with you until the paramedics get there. But then he's just gonna go up to the roof and just sit on the roof and just drink and smoke. He doesn't give a fuck. He just watched one of his best friends get his head blown off, and he is not crying, but you can tell he ain't right.
I was going to say to Evie, I guess things are just, I still got the adrenaline. This is all going to settle in soon, I guess, but it's, I mean, there's going to be a funeral. This is really happening.
Yeah, it starts to settle in. Okay. 5 minutes later, the paramedics eventually show up. They look. They see Lance. Well, I misspoke earlier, like his head wasn't completely blown off, but you already know what they're gonna say. Even so, when you see paramedics, you can't help but have that tiny ray of hope. But instead of putting him on a stretcher, they have no choice. Put him in a body bag. They just shake their heads. The replicants are all, not treated with any kind of respect. They're just thrown in as a group. Alice, on the other hand, is treated as a live suspect for interrogation because of, Evie's report, I assume. Like, you, other than Lance, figured it out, so you kind of tell them that we can't kill her yet. Too many questions, then you're the Blade Runner. They will handle it. So they'll move. This was your first shift in the day, which means on your second shift, along with Alice, the three of you are going back to the PD. Of course, interrogating Alice is a choice, but for very obvious reasons, Holden is going to let you choose if you want to just keep her in here. You can interrogate her next time and take a moment to yourself, take a day or few to yourself. Lance's next of kin is being informed, the letter is being written, and as is standard with a Blade Runner, he will get his honors, but he will be buried rather quickly. The job continues. So, would you guys like to do anything?
I think Evie wants to does not want to take a break. If we stop, then that means that things really set in, so we're gonna not stop until we absolutely have to.
I'd like to hang out for the interrogation. Let's at least do that.
Yeah.
George can't be in that interrogation because of the three of us, he. Yeah. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna go through Lance's desk and see if he left a last will and testament, and try and go through his effects and see if there's anything that I could get an idea of what he would want to go to who.
First of all, Dr. Squiggums was given a negative plot twist. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Squiggums.
20,000. Gotta honor that.
Wow.
But for now,
Holy.
Lance, I will leave you because you were the most senior member of his team. Perhaps you would be the one that knows better than anyone else. You should always leave something because you never know when it could be your last job. So would Lance have left anything?
Lance was a pretty minimal guy, and he tried not a fart in the jar, Echo. Thank you for ruining a moment. Why did I have to read that? But Lance would have left just a singular shot glass for everybody in the drawers, or in his drawer. There's no will, there's no testament, just 3 shot glasses.
Would he have minded if something had happened to him? Anything that he kept on his person when he died, that those things be given to, that maybe not have been department issue, may have been given out to other people. I'm specifically thinking of his hip flask.
I mean, he would have kept that. I mean, like, he had that on his person, so that's definitely one of the things he found for. But other than that, no. He just had an apartment with a Joy. You know, it's really hard in Los Angeles to find anybody. Lance was very lonely, and so his attachment style to people was very strange. But you knew once he was attached. Like he took care of you. But that's about him.
Okay. Then George will simply sit at Lance's desk with the shot glasses and the hip flask that he got from the coroner. I'm assuming that it's full of the Johnny Walker Blue that he had put in there on the last case.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. George will just kind of sit there and take off his glasses. He will take off his shades and just kind of just start mumbling some things under his breath, and he will something you guys have never seen or that nobody really knows about George. He will start to recite the rosary for his friend. Just kind of pulling out, not having a rosary, but like basically doing what his mom used to do when he was a kid. Whenever somebody that they cared about would die, this is what he's doing as his sign of respect, as kind of his ritual. And he's just tearing up, and tears are just coming down his face, trying not to be a mess, but really struggling. So that's what I'm doing. What are you guys doing?
Would you like to be the ones interrogating, or observe the interrogation?
I would like to interrogate.
And is that what you want to do immediately, or do you have something you want to do beforehand?
Oh, I just on the way back to the station, I did want to do my origami to get one of the stress points back.
You gain the stress back, but with everything that's happening, ordinarily you're a replicant, your origami is perfect. It's just something off about it now.
Yeah.
Fold that's a centimeter off, bit of movement, like it doesn't look right, because none of this is right.
But yeah, if as soon as we can interrogate, I think Evie would want to just like get that over with.
You're allowed to interrogate, but perhaps being under Lance, having George around, and Echo tolerating has made you forget the fact that you are a replicant. Your superior officers just died, and rather than let you grieve, the department will make you do a baseline test at a disadvantage.
Spiraling.
Jesus.
Despite all the emotion, despite everything going on, and however you feel about this baseline test, a part of you knows that this was coming. Whether you realize it when they told you or when you realized it earlier, you knew it was coming. It had to be. And you answer as you always have, as you always do. Perfect marks, perfect score, no issues. You get a promotion point. Add that in. Which feels a little wrong, because you're getting commendations for not caring about what you could consider a friend having just died. But that is the life that you are made to live. Literally made to live. Still, you can go to the interrogation as soon as you're allowed. She's been set up. She's been filled with drugs. They don't care about keeping her healthy. You just need her alive long enough to interrogate. Echo, will you be joining?
Yeah, I think I am going to join with this one.
Anything you'll be doing beforehand?
I'm definitely thinking.
Anything you'll do beforehand, like before the actual interrogation with the check?
I know in my head I'm thinking that it was definitely my idea to do some of the plan that got us into that situation. So definitely blaming myself on some of that. No, I don't think there's anything I want to particularly do at the moment, other than just make sure my wound is professionally looked at and that I can still get around the station. And since it's in my waist, I'll probably be all wrapped up under my shirt and everything, but I'm going to meet her at the interrogation room.
So like George, although yours starts a little later, you have 7 days until that wound clears up. So it's the 16th now. You have until 23rd before it completely goes away. Right now, you don't suffer its effects. If you do make a mobility check, if you get hurt again, if something strenuous happens, you reopen it and the 7 days gets delayed. But at this moment, at this point after what's happened, whether or not you continue the job is completely up to you. Because you can take 7 or more days off after someone was just lost. This is going to be given freely. So there's no spending of anything there. But again, that is an individual choice for each of you. Depends on what you find out of the interrogation if you want to take that.
If there's something pressing, I think that's an option all of us will take, is to keep going. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But if it's over, it's over. I'll take a vacation. But
okay. So when you interrogate, there is going to be another officer there. Because of the scenario, they can't just let you do this freely. It is a replicant. They don't really care if it lives or dies, but the fact that you said there has to be something more means that they want to make sure it's found. So this is as much for you as it is for them.
Okay.
They don't really care if you kill her. It's a matter of if you think there's something more, one of our own just died. We're gonna make sure it's found out. So there's one guy there who's making sure that you don't go overboard before you find what you need to find. However, you have been given the authority to just shoot her there once you've found everything you need. There's no due process for this replicant. There's no due process for any replicant, but particularly this one. So she is tied up, high on drugs and painkillers, high out of her fucking mind. She just looked up, bloodied and beaten.
Morning, sunshine.
Her eyes just look at you. Hasn't said anything yet.
Look, I'll get to the straight of it. You're not gonna make it out of this room alive. But before that happens, I'm gonna make sure that your last moments are going to be as excruciating as possible. How quickly that goes is entirely up to you, though. We know that there's no way that you were holding up a food processing plant for money. There's no, you asked for nothing. You just got the hostages and were holed up there, so what was the goal? Why were you there?
She stands firm. But the officer who's there tosses a bag on the table between you and the replicant. If you open that bag, that's a lot of surgical tools. And he just gives a nod. The department does not care.
Okay, it's gonna take longer. She
That-
grabs.
Mhm.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say she grabs some pliers, anything that she can get that would get a good grip. And she goes for Alice's thumbnail and rips it off.
Manipulation with advantage.
Manipulation? Okay.
Yep.
Evie's not fucking around. Oh no. I'll push it. Okay.
That's a
I'll take
stress,
the stress.
which is
That's
fairly
fine.
appropriate. You're
That makes sense.
whatever
honestly.
happens, you're still torturing someone.
Yeah.
You rip it off. There's a scream followed by the biting of her lip and tongue to make sure she doesn't scream too loud. Now I would like you and Echo to roll your observation. Give me 1 second. 1. Echo. That is 1. Okay. The two of you catch something. She cries in pain and her head goes down. And before she looks back up, she looks at the clock on the wall. Unfortunately, this is where the negative plot twist comes in.
Oh no.
Yay!
She looks to the rest of you. Might as well kill me. It's 1 o'clock. Can't stop it now. And should be getting the call anytime soon to figure out what this was about. And your KIAs do get a ring. All of you. Whether you ignored or not is up to you, but your KIAs are all ringing.
Yeah, I'll look.
You know, this is the other hand. Look.
Okay. Hold on. It's not a call. It's an automated message. Chief of Police David Holden was found dead in his apartment. And she just leans back, waiting to take whatever. But unfortunately, you have your answer.
What the hell? What did NCPD? Was this? Do you? I'm gonna basically slam down on the table. Do you just hate cops? Do you just hate Blade Runners? What was all this? What was the point? Just to kill someone? You could have just showed up and shot him when he came into work. What was all of this?
She coughs a bit. David Holden, your lieutenant, and your entire department. We never killed a cop. We killed Blade Runners. So you ask me what all this is. Let me ask you. Was it everything that you do every day? Killing Blade Runners, killing replicants who've been made for war, and one day someone decide that they're not worth living anymore, and you get to end their life, even if they're just farmers or construction workers or just trying to stay alive doing nothing. You think the deaths we cause are meaningless? What about the deaths you cause every fucking day this department exists? Eye for an eye. Kill us, we kill you, and on the cycle of violence goes.
You've been using we a lot. Who is we?
Replicants who've had enough.
I'm gonna need names, and then Evie grabs the back of Alice's head and slams it down in front of the table.
She looked up. I think you already know. Been chasing after her, to no luck.
Where is Elle? Slams.
You honestly think she would tell me? I wasn't meant to survive this. I was meant to be caught. That was the point. You were asking why we took a meat processing plant. It's to get you there. All the innocent people, all the equipment, we took it. We didn't shoot a single human. Because we wanted you there. You don't need to make an insight roll. She's telling the truth.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say to her, killing each other. We're not murdering replicants. Evie's a replicant. This is evolution in action. This is people like us eliminating people like you. And
yeah,
I'm just
and
gonna
how
let you
long
do your
is it gonna be before you get the retirement order to eliminate people like her? You think a Nexus 10 isn't in the pipeline? An 11? 12? You don't see us as human. You just see us as objects you can dispose of when you're done. So why can't we do the same deed?
I'm going to say the same thing, which is, and when that happens, that'll be evolution in action. But at this moment,
he looks to you when you say that. Yeah, sure. Just like it was evolution in action with your commanding officer. Shotguns aren't conducive to evolution, are they?
It's a war. We'll see who wins. Another 2 generations, all this stuff you're feeling will be wiped away.
It's been 6 generations. Another 2 won't matter.
We've been around for like 100,000 years. Try crawling in the dirt for about 10,000 years. So we did. And then I'm just gonna look over at Evie and just basically say I'm done here. And I don't think she's got any information.
Can I step in at this moment?
Sure.
You were watching behind the glass?
I was watching behind the glass and listening. I'm just gonna walk in really simply. I'm gonna walk up behind Evie. I'm gonna take her hand and I'm gonna put Lance's PKD right in her hand. And just put my hand on her shoulder and walk out.
Pull the gun to Alice's head and I pull the trigger.
Simple enough. He's dead. The officer in the room sanctions it because he agrees. You have everything that you can get out. Doesn't care. When you pull the trigger, he just calls for the people. He's getting sent to an incinerator.
I'll walk out, and as I'm walking out, I'm just gonna say, I'll check everything. Where she's been, where she was going, who she's talked to. We'll find out whatever it is she didn't want us to find, but there's a trail someplace. And I'm just gonna kind of keep walking. Go get some coffee.
With that, we enter your 3rd shift, and because it seems much more needed than anything else, a break. So,
yes, please.
We'll be right back in about 10 minutes, maybe a little more, depending on what happens. We will be seeing Nolan return with, unfortunately, not Lance. So, don't go anywhere. Let's see where this goes. We're gonna take a break for now. We'll be right back, guys. Okay, so we're back after that quick break. Get everything sorted. We're going into your third shift for now. I'll ask everyone to ignore the name under Nolan's section because that doesn't exist anymore. But for now, you have a moment to yourself. The third shift, you got your answer, but 2 people are down. That negative plot twist really hit because I'll tell everyone just so you know, there was meant to be a chance for you to go there and stop him, and it was going to be down to the wire whether or not it could be stopped. But as I've said before, and as I said every time I advertise this, the chat will always have a part in this story, and because that was bought for a significant amount of points, that must be honored.
They killed a canon movie character.
Well, he wasn't around 2049. So,
it's true enough. This is how it happened.
Beyond all of that, there are no new leads. Your retirement order has been carried out, and you don't have a boss. So you're waiting. While you're waiting, the rest of this day, in fact, I would go so far as to say, unless George or Echo would like to continue doing something that it means field work and risking injury, you can clear out, all of you can clear out your injuries because you're being given the week off, mostly for Lance's funeral. Unless, again, one of you or both of you are planning on doing some kind of field work which risks that injury.
No.
Okay, that'll remove your critical injuries.
Resolve be damned. My character mentally is broken right now, and I need some good Italian cooking, some good rest, and a couple of nice scotches by the fire for a few nights, and then just a chance to kind of decompress.
What about Echo? You have a week off.
Somewhat similar, but I think would it be possible for me to kind of tell someone at the office if something happens with L, if you hear anything, let me know.
Call you?
Because call me, because even if it's not going to kill L, but if I can observe something, if somebody sees her and I chase it down and I get to witness something, I'm trying to get anything here. So if that keyword pops up on their operator communications, give me a call. I'll sacrifice my 7 days if I can get something juicy.
Okay. Fortunately, not any there is an active investigation from everyone else, but for now you can recover because there won't be anything those 7 days.
Okay.
It's going to be fairly quiet. Most of the Blade Runner jobs are standard. No additional anything really. So I'll give you back all your health, and you will recover from that critical injury for both of you. Same for Evie. Stress, injuries, as long as you're not doing anything on the field, they'll all recover. But before we get to any of that, it's a week. Lance's funeral is being prepared. He's given full honors. It'll be held in a church. His casket's going to be there. The unfortunate proof is that it's going to be closed casket with the flag placed on top of it. And several officers are going to be there, but that is throughout the week. He'll be buried on the last day. So besides the funeral, let's take a quick moment to see how each of you decide to mourn, or what you're going to be doing for that week. Start with Echo.
I am going to ask Shockman Stone,
George.
if he needs, George, if he needs any help with the catering for the funeral.
I would love that. George will tell you, and he will say that he would love the help, and that he also will insist that both you and Evie come to dinner for a few nights of the week at his house. Just so we can reminisce about things, just talk, have some good food, and not be alone. Because the last thing we need after losing someone so close to us is to lose another person who can't take it.
I'm super still suspicious. I'm still on edge, even though I'm relaxing. I'm still on the lookout, even at the funeral. I'm checking out everybody that's sitting in the booths. I'm watching, see if anybody shows up that's not supposed to be there. I'm looking for unusual characters that just seem out of place. Heck, I'm looking for Elle. I mean, I'm looking for anything, but that's who I'm looking for, even though I know she's not going to be there. I'm still just checking every eye, just like it was at the courthouse.
It's a form of grieving.
Yeah, being on edge, knowing that it's not over yet. Everyone just wants to bury it, but...
Okay. Then... Stone.
Stone, like I said, will get the catering together for the wake and kind of help plan that. He will spend a lot of time with his sister. He will not be at his regular apartment. He will be almost exclusively staying at the family house during this time. But he will be checking in every single day with both Echo and Evie. Insisting that they just kind of do, even if it's just saying, hey, my day is X, and just checking in just to let you know that he cares. And in his off time, he will be during that time after he's healed, he's talking to his sister and saying that he's going to be trying to look for other ways that he can specialize to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Whether by making him more proficient in the field or making it so he can be more of a healer. It has become real now, and he just doesn't ever want to lose anybody else again. And as when we're at the funeral,
Oh no, we'll get to the actual funeral.
Okay.
This is just before that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Let's do from Birdzilla, which is the only bonus so far. We'll leave that floating. Evie, what's the week looking like?
Yeah, I'll definitely, like Echo, ask George if he needs any help. Like, she can't cook. She doesn't know how, but any other like assistance in planning or anything with the funeral, she'll definitely help.
Would Evie allow George to start teaching her how to cook?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that would be a really good way to deal with the grief.
Yeah, probably.
For him specifically, because he likes teaching, and that's what Lance would have done. He tried to teach George when he was there, and so George will look to both Echo and Evie, and that will be his constructive thing. Every single day he will teach them a basic recipe and teach them some things on how to cook and do some things at their apartments. Cool.
Okay. You guys want to spend that slightly together? What about alone as Eve?
So I think she'll definitely start drinking more whiskey.
One thing.
Probably
sorry, I forgot to mention this for Evie. Emma drops off a basket at your apartment after hearing the news, because it does go on the go on the newspapers that some Blade Runners have died. He doesn't know Lance, doesn't know your connections, but all she sees is 2 LAPD officers down. She knows you work for the LAPD, so she just sends a basket.
How often do Blade Runners die like this? Like
very often. However, the chief of police dying is not a common occurrence. So it's made the news along with Lance, who is a tenured Blade Runner, meaning he's lived long enough to have a name. So that's why they get an obituary, unlike most Blade Runners who just die and you move on. But it happens a lot. It's the nature of your job. So she leaves a basket at your door. She's not there, but the basket's been left, the doorman tells you.
I don't think she's ready to reach out to anyone just yet. I think just keeping it spending time with Echo and George is about all she can handle at the moment. But she does definitely start drinking whiskey, and she starts smoking cigarettes as a means to like,
Cool.
I don't know, in her own like weird sort of out of touch way of like honoring Lance. And I think in one of these like nights where she's alone with her thoughts, probably drinking a little bit too much, I think she starts to sort of get curious about what was it? Is it Victor
Victor,
the
yeah.
replicant? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the things that she's seen, and she starts to sort of look into like, okay, whose memories could I possibly have, and see any connection to him, and then like the things that I saw in the past of George's neighborhood, and like the buildings, and the was it a Tyrell Corporation logo?
It was a Wallace Corp logo.
It was a Wallace.
But
Okay.
the time period indicates
was
that Wallace Corp wasn't a mega corporation during that time period. It was a tiny little startup. Tyrell was still the big dog at that time.
Okay. Yeah, like maybe looking to see when Wallace had that logo. Like if I could dwindle down a time frame and maybe start piecing together whose memories that I have.
You'll have a time frame, and you can have the general idea, because the war flashbacks, the time frame, all of that line up. All of that also line up. If you assume that it's a replicant's memories, because you don't know if it's human or replicant. If you assume it's a replicant's memories, then it's a Nexus 8, because it lines up with the off-world wars. If you assume it's a human, it still has the same timeline, just that it's going to be human. So, whether it's human or replicant, and who it was, you're going to need access to memory labs, you're going to need access to Wallace data banks. For now, you can definitely set up a timeline, at least before the 2030s. So during the era of the Nexus 8 being rolled out and made.
Okay.
And before the ban that was hit
Got
on
it. I think Evie might start when she sort of starts to put this together. I can just see her setting up a board with like the
conspiracy
strings.
board.
Full, what was it, Pepe Sylvia?
Yeah.
And It's Always Sunny.
Who's
Like a
Pepe
cork board
Sylvia?
spins and then a bunch of red strings just connecting things. Okay.
Yeah. She's
Verbal Kind is Kaiser Sose.
And yeah, I think this is sort of her means of like disassociating a little bit and just trying to focus on anything besides that Lance is gone.
Okay. Anything to distract yourself from the proof?
Yeah.
Fair enough. No point asking Lance. So, when the funeral comes, as is standard, you are not dressed in casual clothes. To show respect to a fallen officer, you are dressed in your uniforms. He is buried there. There is a joint funeral between him and Detective Holden, who didn't have any next of kin, didn't have any family. But the person who is up on the podium is the son of Holden's predecessor, the former deputy chief of police and head of the retirement unit, Harry Bryant. This is his son, who is about in his mid to late 30s, which is kind of young. But you've also been told the day before that he will be taking over as head of the RDU, as the deputy chief and in charge of the RDU. Is Jacob Bryant. He goes over
It's the son of the old chief that died?
Hmm?
This is the son of the chief?
This is the son of the former chief before Holden, because Holden didn't have any family. The former chief being Harry Bryant. If anyone watched the original movie, that was the chief back then. This would be his son. He goes over to the podium, looks at the crowd. There's never any words that express the grief you can feel when you lose someone. And the sad fact, the reality that we have to accept is that this is a part of our day-to-day job and our lives. This is what we have to deal with. But just because it's a part of what we do doesn't mean it hurts any less. It's like watching a truck come after you and you can't move. You know it's coming. Don't change the fact that it's gonna hurt. We lost 2 great officers, 2 tenured officers who, if we're being honest, have outlived their initial lifespans given what we are. I, for one, am not gonna mourn their death, and I would rather choose to celebrate their lives. And may we all be blessed enough to live in this lifestyle as long as they have. Neither of them have any family of next of kin written in any of their statements. But the truth is, they were wrong. Everyone who's here today is their family of next of kin, and the thing that they left us with are memories of what we have of them. And in those memories, they'll live on with us. And you might think that's corny or cheesy or whatever you think, but the truth is, at the end of the day, the only thing our lives amount to are the memories we leave behind for the people who stay behind. And he takes a shot glass, pours the tequila, and hands some people hand over pre-poured shot glasses for everyone. This was my father's favorite drink, and it became Holden's, despite the fact that his iron lung made it bad for him to drink. He still would. So in honor of that, I ask every officer here to raise the glass for good men, for the memories to live on, and for us to keep fighting. Because the truth is, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how much money or threats they throw our way. I am gonna find the assholes that did this, and I'm going to rip them apart piece by piece until I feel satisfied with that vengeance for our fallen friend. And the rest of you in the department who think, and there's someone approaching him and he points his PKD at the guy, don't you dare fucking interrupt me. But the rest of you who think that this is gonna be let go because someone throws some money in our face, I implore you to hand over your resignation, your badge, and your gun, because I don't give a fuck who says what. I'm gonna find who did this, and I'm going to put them in the fucking ground. And if you're not with me, then stay out of my fucking way. I ain't Holden, and I sure as hell ain't my father. Unlike the rest of this scum shit of a city, I still value the law, and more than that, I value our friends. So there will be blood. And they will have their vengeance. He points to the casket. And if you aren't with me, then get the fuck out of my department. And he takes the drink, and he gets off. And while he doesn't say it outright, the three of you understand his implications. It doesn't matter what Wallace says. He's going to follow this to the end. Everything else be damned. he doesn't give a shit. So if you don't like that, this is your opportunity to quit. But at least two of you may have conflict with that.
I will look to everyone. I will look to Echo and to Evie, and I will snap my fingers, and a server will bring over 3 shot glasses. Evie, you know this. You know the smell of this. This is what Lance drank, and I will hand each of you. I will hand each of you your own monogrammed shot glass. I had monograms put on them in the week. One that says EV, one that says EC, and one that says just has a picture of a rock on it. And there will be a bottle of it on there, and I will hand each of you one, and I will say to Lance, he did not die in vain. We will make sure of that. Agreed?
Yeah. As the man says, there will be blood.
There is.
And I will then look and I will say, you guys can keep those shot glasses. Those were for Lance, for all of us. He had them in his desk.
And before we break up, I'm just going to look at everybody and kind of just, not conspiratorially or whisper, just say, looks like we got a man in our corner. And I'll kind of just gesture over at the guy who's been speaking.
I agree. And Echo, I've already given one to Evie, but Lance, I think, would have wanted you to have this, and he'll hand you his hip flask.
Oh, nice. That's cool. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna be kind of like surprised and slightly happy. Like I wasn't expecting to get anything, and it's something I'll actually use and carry. And wow, just a work colleague I didn't know for very long, but to have just a little bit considered.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of joy.
I'm curious though.
In honor of,
if I can ask a question of Nolan, I'm curious about something though. Nolan, was it like a little 4 ounce? Was it an 8 ounce? Was it a 6 ounce? Like, what did it look like? Was it like one of the ones that was like, it was like meant to go around your hip? Like it was like actually a hip flask?
It was a Costco flask. I'll give Costco
I guess, was it like this? Was it like this?
So, realistically, Lance, he didn't really care what the material it was made of. Knowing himself, he just was going to drink the liquor in there as fast as he could when he could. But it didn't matter what it was made of. So it was probably just like a simple stainless steel 8 ounce flask that was just carrying warm liquid because it was close to his pocket.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
thank you.
To honor what Lance has, and Nolan, I sent you a message regarding this. Because it's being given to Echo, I am giving you the free specialty of hip flask.
Sweet.
Because it's being passed. One of those specialties that can be passed on. But funeral goes on, and it goes to the memorial cemetery for officers. He gets buried.
I've been looking at checking everybody.
Right now, there's no concern the officers yet. There was a little bit when the new chief decided that he's not going to listen to Wallace and made that message clear in subtle language. But right now, they're all focusing on mourning. Regardless, that's still the main point of this. When he gets buried, flag folded, there is no next of kin. So they hand your team the flag. For whichever one of you is going to take it. This is after he gets buried, it gets folded, he gets a 21 gun salute, and the dirt is on the ground. It would be the new chief.
Which, if you've never heard one of those, they're heartbreakingly beautiful. I've been to one.
I believe it's by 7s, and they shoot 3 times.
Yes, they do.
The new chief folds. The officers fold the flag. They hand it to the new chief. And he presents it to your group, to whichever one of you wants to take it.
I'll take it and I'll say,
the family.
Yeah. George should take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say my house isn't nice enough for something like that.
Another thing. And this is when the funeral's over, people are starting to leave and go back to their day-to-day. You were his team. And Holden had the right idea of forming something like that. So I'm gonna ask you once. Do you want to see this through? Or
Absolutely.
do you want to step aside?
No, absolutely. You said there would be blood. We don't want it. We need it. He was our father. He kept us together.
Good to hear. And I'm putting the three of you along with the only other guy in this department I can actually trust. Elijah, get in here. What does Elijah look like when the new chief calls on to you?
Elijah is wearing a simple, like, a vest with a white button down. There's no tie, no collar. It has a collar, but he has this very almost corpo look to him, and he's holding onto a data pad, and he's kind of like scrolling through things, and he looks up and says, "Oh, you guys, what about? Oh, wait. I know that's not his voice. I'm so sorry. That was not his voice. That was not his voice."
He clears his throat and tries again.
He has laryngitis.
He has laryngitis. Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, you guys, what are you? Oh, shit. I think this is it. This is his voice.
I love it.
Just looks like he's gonna be helping you out. He might be the rookie, but that just means that he hasn't been bought by anyone yet. He's not gonna get bought.
What's your specialty? Elijah, was it?
Elijah, yes, scientist. Granted so graciously by Mr. Nigel, our game runner.
Scientist or an analyst?
Specialty is scientist, but I am an analyst.
Okay, gotcha. And I will kind of look and I will say, Elijah, I don't envy you. You are joining a team that is very close knit, but I guarantee you do right by us. You do as we do. You back us up. We'll have your back. Agreed, everybody?
What do you mean? Back me up.
Well, I'm assuming you're.
Go
Go ahead, George.
Oh, I was gonna say, I go out to shake his hand and say, just back us up if something like this happens again. And I look at my stomach area where there's a.
George will lean into Echo and I will say, I don't think he's a field agent.
What do you mean by that? I am, and I like, can I do a medical aid check to see how well Echo is doing, and if I can give him some advice on better recovery?
I wouldn't actually make you roll for it. You'd probably be able to see that he needs to lay off the drinking, but otherwise his wound is recovering well. Patchwork could do, and some, better stitch work could be done.
So far, no matter how many drinks you guys see me taking every morning, I arrive with my morning blended eggs and spinach drink, and my hangover is perfectly the alcohol. Never shows up too much, but you might see it around my eyes.
I will have you roll your firearms.
I drink
Elijah.
because everyone else is drunk.
So
For one
Elijah,
particular
I'm
reason.
assuming.
Roll your firearms, Elijah, for one particular thing. So, the new chief
What the
Ryan.
fuck?
goes over to Elijah and says, "Let's get the Get to know and show them what you can do, kid. And he hands you a blaster and then tosses a frisbee in the air. And you see Elijah with one look, looks back at you and fires the blaster and blasts a hole through it.
Okay. Pardon my impertinence. I apologize, Elijah. Are you as good with long arms as you are with small arms?
Better.
I'm good with any kind of arms. As long as it has bullets and it fires.
We're gonna get along great. All right. Welcome to the team, I guess.
Yeah,
Chief?
you're the new guy. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
You're no longer the new guy, guys.
Yeah, I'm no longer the new guy. You're the new guy now.
Chief.
He looks at you.
I think, according to department protocol, there needs to be a ranking officer in charge of the team. Who's going to take Lance's place?
Well, it's not like anyone else has years on this team but you.
I was afraid you were going to say that. Is there going to be like a ceremony or some shit that I have to dress up for?
Fuck no.
Okay.
Take command, but here's the deal. He looks at all of you. I know your background, was at Stone, and I know you're a replicant, was at Evie. And I know that comes with certain ties. I'm gonna make this perfectly clear. My job at the moment, I don't care about what anyone else says, is to find justice for Holden, for Rogers. And as long as we're agreed on that, we won't have a problem. But I'm gonna make this clear right now. If it comes down to the wire between what Wallace asked and what I demand, that shouldn't even be a choice. You do as I say, or you get the fuck out of my department. End of story. And if Wallace has a problem with that, I'll deal with them. And I don't give a shit what they say. So unless you are 100% committed to finding and stopping whatever did this, getting justice for our fallen brothers, then get out. And you'll have until the rest of this day to decide. For now, take the day off when you go back to work tomorrow. And
Thanks,
he
Chief.
just leaves.
George will run up to him and catch up to him alone and explain to him the situation with his sister and how Wallace is basically the reason why he will confide in him as to why he's a Blade Runner and what the deal was, and explain that he wants blood as much as anybody. But if he's going to fully commit to this, he needs the support of the department to make sure that his sister's going to be okay. Because ultimately, he would die for his sister. Because she almost died for him.
He looks to you. Here's the thing. The reason I put Elijah in your team is because he's literally the only other person in this damn department I can actually trust. I don't know how many officers are in the back pocket of the Walls Corporation. I don't know how many of them are going to listen to me versus them. It's a matter of your sister, and put her in LAPD housing and I will watch over her personally. But the fact of the matter is, whatever you decide, Wallace might have 100 other agents in the department willing to do what you're not. You want to protect and move her, and I'll watch over her. But I'm not putting around-the-clock guard around her until I know for certain who are the officers I can actually trust here.
I understand, Chiefs.
As long as our goals align, you won't have a problem. Anything beyond that, we'll cross the bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
Just leave.
Thank you.
So, the four of you are given the rest of this day, the rest of this day off. If there's anything you want to do, some specialties you want to buy. Also, I forgot to do this the last time, but I believe I never gave everyone their humanity points. I forgot to add that in. So if you guys could each add 1 humanity point, plus, as horrible as this is, an additional 2 humanity points for 3 of you for losing a teammate. That's 3 for the others, 1 technically for Elijah, since I'm passing on everything Lance had. So, this is your last day off before you get back to work. What would you like to do with it?
I think I'm gonna use promotion points, and I'm gonna get tough, so I get another
Nice.
health point.
Let me put that in for
Gonna
you.
get tough.
By the way, did we get any promotion points for that case?
Oh, sorry, yes. Please add 3 promotion points each.
Okay.
Excellent.
That's my bad.
So I only lose
that in?
2, really.
Let me give you
Perfect.
an extra point of health. There you go.
I will also take tough, and I will be George. Sorry, I almost did it again. I will be Evie's sparring partner. I will be Evie's sparring partner.
Okay.
Okay. Let me put that in and give you a point of health.
Yes.
Okay, that's tough for each of you for the shift. Take out 5 promotion
Yes.
points to buy that. Echo?
Yep.
I'm looking at my stuff here. I don't have that many promotion points. I don't think I have enough to
You
actually do
have-
something like that right now.
Humanity?
I have 5. I have 5 I have 5 I don't know if maybe I wasn't adding my promotion points. I thought I was, but I have 5 promotion points, 9 humanity points.
You did get
5
killer,
cheat.
so that's spent for your promotion.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to do in my downtime. No.
You have 5, that's enough for another specialty.
It's true. I guess I could. There's nothing else I can use promotion points for, right?
How much does it cost to go
Resources
from
when you need the LAP
to go
do
from
something.
C to B
10.
on 10? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
There's 10 humanity points you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, 10
From
humanity
C
points.
to B.
So,
Hold on, let me click.
George is actually gonna especially train with Evie and allow him to up his hand to hand from a C to a B.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Learning a
That's
little
a second
bit
shift.
from the replicant.
yes.
It's like,
Well,
teach
it
me
will
your
be-
ways, Kung Fu Master.
And then I'll take out 10 humanity points for you while you change it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. So that's 2 shifts. 1 for the specialty, 1 for the training.
Yep.
Everyone else good?
I think I'm good. I'm not going to spend my on a specialty just yet. I think I'm happy.
Okay. I did give you the hip flask,
Yeah.
which means you can drink once per shift to remove
Yeah.
stress.
Okay, I'll count that.
Okay.
The only other thing that I'm gonna do during this last day is I'm gonna call. I'm not gonna go over. I'm gonna call my sister, and I'm gonna tell her, sis, I know this is gonna come way out of left field, but with everything that's been going on at my job that I told you about, I'm gonna need to temporarily move you to a safer place. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Can I be worried?
I'll keep. I hope not, but I don't know. But I know that it's going to be safer for you at where we're going to put you than it will be at the house.
I understand.
I'll make sure that the house is locked up and everything's taken care of, so that when it is safe, we can move back in. And trust me, darling, that wish you've had for a while for me to retire. Once I'm done with this, with what I need to do, I'm thinking it's going to be about time. So maybe I'll be able to finally start going to some of those dating sites you've been trying to get me to go on to, and find a sister-in-law to bring home to you.
Okay. Just let me know when.
I'll have the attendants. I'll give the attendants the information, and we'll have it taken care of. And then I'll tell her I love her, and I'll hang up, and I'll immediately call the attendants and tell her, and I will basically try and get her moved within like the next 48 hours, all of her equipment and everything like that, into one of the larger apartments, like one of the more big apartments, not the little tiny ones, but one of the bigger ones, so that she has not only, so that she's well taken care of, and everything like that. So, and I'll try to make sure it's as close to where I am as possible, so that way I don't have to go all the way outside of the city just to get to her.
It would be in the LAPD housing, right next to Little Tokyo where you stay. So, she'll be there, and the chief has given you his word he'll keep watch over her.
Yeah.
Which does sometimes involve bringing her to the LAPD. But for now,
she'll get to see where I work.
The rest of the day, while you guys are training, making preparations, moving, does Elijah do anything to prepare for his new role? His quote-unquote promotion?
Elijah, I'm hanging out in my apartment for the rest of the day, working on synthesizing some experience. And as soon as I get that figured out, I hang out on my couch, begin to do some experience, and just listen to just some really, really hard techno. I'm just like bobbing my head and just enjoying experience, just getting ready and pumped for the next day. I got new people to try to impress, and I think I'm gonna like these guys.
I'm curious. What kind of place does Elijah live in?
A condo filled with old mementos and a balcony
Nice.
Little Tokyo.
Neon lit. Yep.
He's 3 doors down. He's 3 doors down.
Do I need to move to Little Tokyo now? I think that's the next logical step.
Also, you are really going on in the experience, aren't you? Okay, then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a strange thing to get into, but it doesn't do too much harm.
Yeah. My other guy was a drinker. This guy is just he needs a little something.
A guy. All right. So, the next morning, the 4 of you are called to, well, Bryant's office now. First things first, when you come in the next morning, there's about 20 cops getting booted. Pretty angrily. And they're not like leaving because they chose to. The moment you enter, you hear the communications, you hear the whispers that they've basically been hiding things for Wallace, and they're getting the boot. And according to some of the rumors here, the police, Jacob Bryant basically said, "You either get out or I put you down." And he pointed the blaster at them. And so they left. When you guys get to his office, because he is head of the RDU, he looks right on time. Good. Alright. Forget all the other cases, I've assigned them to everyone else. Is what I need you to do. About 8 years ago, there was a whole debacle about the doll hunt. Is where Elle came from. Here's the thing. She was part of it, but she broke out of her Scarlet program.
Yeah,
I think the rest of you already know that. I want to know why. Think about the doll hunt. It was Wallace that did it. Wallace Sr. Before the blackout. So very simply, there's two things I need you to do today. One, you're gonna go to the old Tyrell facility where they were made and check those old logbooks. Two, and by the way, for number one, I don't really care how you do it. If you want to hack into the computer, if you want to break it open, do whatever you have to. I don't give a shit about security clearance at this point. And if anyone stands in your way, Wallace guards or not, you threaten them, and if they shoot, you shoot back. And two, I need you to go to Wallace and demand access to their old data banks from before the blackout. If they refuse, he has printed copies of old statutes that have been forgotten because of mega corporations. You bring the law on. And if they still refuse to listen, well, I finally have a lawyer and a district attorney who's willing to do something about it.
I thought I already got that clearance when we first went over there.
Limited. Per case to
limited.
case.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like, case to case, and they might not approve of something if it's their old dirty secret.
I gotcha.
So it's like, do this however you will, but I need whatever information you can find from those two places. Then we'll talk about it when you come back. And he passes that along with the same 2 chin that Stone's supposed to get.
And then I will
He does
also
say one more thing. He looks. If they refuse access for any reason, can't get access, I don't particularly care what sources you have to use, who you have to go to, whose door you have to knock down, who you have to threaten to get the information. Do whatever you have to find it. With or without Wall's consent. As of today, the LAPD doesn't need the consent of a fucking corporation. Can't see the papers. This means Anders, this means Mafia, this means whoever you can pay off to do what you have to do it.
Yeah. George will, as everybody else is leaving, George will look to the chief and say, Chief, since I'm leading this thing, I'm assuming I've been promoted to lieutenant from sergeant.
He hands the bag of money.
And does he give me a gold? Does he give me a gold? Does he give me a gold shield instead of a silver shield?
Yep.
Okay.
Bag of money and a badge.
Sounds like a plan.
I like that there was no ceremony because Stone would have enjoyed it too much.
No, Stone would have hated it. As much as ostentatious as he is, he absolutely hates going to big like fancy what to dos. He hates going to those things.
He hands you.
He likes tight knit groups.
The chief, for better or worse, has provided your team with a carte blanche order. Whatever it takes to get his order done, do it. Whoever has to get shot, do it. Whoever needs to be threatened, paid off, do it. Anything short of actually killing someone, unless they shoot first, do it.
Yeah.
But when you guys leave his office, you have a choice. Tyrell Building and the Wallace Corporation. Now, I will put it out there. For the Wallace Corporation, it might be beneficial that George isn't there, so it's not associated with you, whatever the team has to do.
Yeah. I would like, since I know that the Wallace Corporation is going to be a relatively safe place, or I assume anyway, I'm going to look to Evie and Echo and say, guys, Evie, you've got experience. You were with me the first time we went there. They'll recognize you, but they won't. I shouldn't be there. and I think I need to take the new kid out I think I need to take Elijah out just to see what he's about. I'm trusting you, Evie, and you, Echo, to go and try and get whatever you can from Wallace. Okay?
Hell.
Okay. If you have any trouble, and I write down the contact information and a security clearance code, and on a piece of paper, and hand it to Evie, and I say, if you have any trouble, I don't know how much help he'll be able to be, but this is the info and a security clearance for a limited security clearance code to access and talk to my handler at Wallace. His name is Walton Simons. He's pretty high up there. Use it sparingly. Okay?
Understood.
But this is at least a little bit of help. Just make sure you and I would have made sure, by the way, DM, I would have made sure to not give her one of the high-ranking security clearance codes. I would have given just like one of the limited use ones for
Sure.
like limited admin access, basically. And I will give that to you, and I will just I'm gonna clasp both of them on the shoulder and say, we need to keep our family together. And he'll just pat you both on the back and say, Elijah, we got a Tyrell Corporation to go and investigate. Come on, get your shit. Let's go.
I was getting bored. Let's go.
Stone gets a photo from his sister. Basically, the chief of police is teaching her how to shoot a PKD sound blaster.
Yes! Awesome!
Like, I can't protect you 24/7, but I can teach you to protect yourself.
Now we just need to get her on her wheelchair with machine guns on it.
So,
And a jetpack?
And a jetpack, exactly.
so let's start with Wallace, Evie, and Echo. I'm assuming Echo drives this one.
Yes.
The hole in your
driving
body is
and,
finally sewn up. You're finally back to your old self, although with a bit of aching pain from the broken rib. You fly forward. You talk about anything on the way?
No, just wondering whatever happened to Flucus and Elle, and
Okay.
just wondering what we're stepping into.
I think Evie's kind of going over some of the things that Echo sort of said while interrogating Alice about evolution and yeah.
Is it?
She wasn't necessarily very happy with some of the words Echo had, and so I think there's maybe a little bit of
Tension?
distance and tension.
Yeah. If you want to mention it, or I don't mind even talking about it something. But
I don't think
Not the
she's ready
time.
to talk about that yet. Yeah.
no worries, no.
Okay. Then you get to Wallace. You are greeted by the same almost soulless receptionist. Welcome to the Wallace Corporation building. How may I help?
I guess we're going to need access to logs, memories. We're with the RDU.
Before you guys continue, there's
fast.
something you can do besides threatening that either the chief doesn't really care about, or it falls under whatever it takes.
Mhm.
You can lie about the case that you're on
Okay.
if you prefer to do it that route, or if you'd like to threaten the corporation. That's a thing too. But just love. To what purpose, if I may ask?
Yes, we're currently working, or we are investigating the replicant Victor. It seems like he may have not actually left Earth, and we just need to get a little bit more information on him in order to track him down.
Oh, he was declared flatline. He was declared retired.
Oh, he was?
Yeah,
Shoot.
on paper. You can save it. He might have
Oh,
left
yeah.
something behind
Yeah. Right.
But well, that's manipulation.
Tying up loose ends, I'll say.
Oh, that's a stress early. Okay.
That's fine. I got my origami.
E-
We're fine.
Receptionist looks. A moment, please. Starts typing on the keyboard. Please, if you would follow me. And he starts walking into the data bank. Once you're there, it is like in the movies, like rows and rows and rows of all these old data pyramids that you can plug in to view information from. He does not stay, but you do know you're probably being monitored. And there's a lot of information around here, so both of you are gonna have to look for what you're looking for. And while looking, if one of you could distract the person, because you're probably going to be looking in a place that's way too old and way too far away from where you're supposed to be looking. So how do you want to divide that?
Distraction.
Yeah, I can be distraction. I don't have great observation or tech. I don't know what the role is gonna be.
Welcome, Raiders.
Yeah, I'm not
missed the funeral.
worst in observation. That's the best way to say my rating in observations. I'm not the worst.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm better at observation than I was.
You can also use tech
You've
for
actually
this.
upgraded from here.
Huh?
Observation or
I'm
tech.
Observation C, tech B. Yeah, so I'm
Or you
observation C,
could-
tech D.
You could risk allowing them to see what you're doing and give the other person an advantage. As of right now, I believe there's only 1 + 2 floating around.
Oh, that's right. We could always use a +2 on it.
I can do a distraction in the sense of
Okay.
I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of a good way of doing it or even a reason. I don't know, you've been here before. Maybe there's something you can ask about while I do this.
Yeah, I mean, I have pretty good manipulation, so I could just bullshit and just
Yeah, do it. I'll take a look.
ask a bunch of questions or start.
Are
Observation
these
or
paper
tech.
files? Like rows and rows of paper files?
Not paper files, like data disk that you have to plug in and read through. You can put in your KIA, but you have to read through each of them. Observation or tech. for
in the
Echo.
library.
Yes. And then
Tech. Here we go.
manipulation for Evie.
And just be like, just ask the front desk person, like, do you enjoy working for Wallace? Like, how is it working here? And get inquisitive.
Would you like a +2 Echo to roll again?
Yes, I'm gonna re-roll that because I keep searching, I can't find it. I see her over there, distracting, talking about the day, the weather, asking her, and I'm just like and I'm frustrated. I go redouble my search, and here I
Go
go.
ahead.
This is my redoubling of my search.
No more bonuses. Push, I guess.
There we go. This is it. This is for all the marbles. The entire story hinges on this.
There we go.
There
Okay.
it goes, guys.
First of all, Evie, this replicant you're speaking with is more soulless than any other replicant you've met. How's the weather? She answers with a temperature. How's it working here? She answers with it's slightly above slightly below room temperature, but we're provided with adequate clothing.
She's a living Alexa. She's a
I
walking,
was
talking
thinking
Alexa.
Animal Crossing character.
What do you think of working here? It's like, it is a job. It is the requirement. Like, there's no soul in it whatsoever.
Oh my
But
gosh.
while you're distracting and hoping that Echo's found what he needs to find,
I got it.
there's one bit of information, Echo, that dates to 2032. that relates to something called Project Dolls. Not Doll Hunt, but it's the closest thing you found.
There you
You
go.
do not have the time to read through it because EV is running out, but you do have the time to make a copy of it and cover your tracks as best
Hell
you
yeah.
can. So while you haven't managed to go through the information yet, because it is a lot of information, and it kind of looks like to you that whatever this is, they buried it under lots of other things. So you can't pinpoint the information you need exactly, but you can copy all of this down and then put it back. And by the time Evie's done talking to a human-formed Alexa, you're ready to go.
I'm gonna
Did you find what you
walk up
need,
to Evie and
officers?
say, I got everything we're authorized to get.
Great. Well, thank
Very
you
well.
so much. The conversation was just riveting.
You think it was certainly filled with questions. It just leads you back outside. Thank you for visiting us. And just leads you outside the lobby.
I turn to Echo because I'm just sort of like bewildered by this replicant. And I'm just like, was I like that when I was fresh out of the bag?
No, there's people like that. We call them NPCs.
Oh.
There's replicants. There's people like that. I think that's something both of us share in common as a people.
It's a universal truth.
Yeah, I think it's something we connect on.
All right. Let's go over to the Tyrell Corporation building. For your benefit, to your benefit, George and Elijah, before we get to if you talk about anything on the way, the building has no guards anymore. It's just condemned.
Okay.
But do you talk about anything on the spinner and who's driving?
So I will kind of look to Elijah and be like, "You're new. You like to drive?"
No, driving is hard. When I come from old country, driving was not good.
Fair enough. I'll drive, and I will drive, and I'll kind of just make small talk, and then as we're getting closer, I will very astutely. I would like to make an insight check to try and see, looking at Elijah, to see if I can notice any kind of like partial tattoos or anything like that that might illustrate that he might be like former like military or something like that. Because with that level of gunsmanship, like pistoleriness, like he's got to have something that he's been doing for a while.
That depends on whether or not Elijah has any kind of clothing revealing any kind of tattoo, because obviously you can't see through the clothes. So is there anything to actually see? Given what you're wearing.
I'm a crime scene tragedy, so like I don't let people in, so I'm wearing long sleeves, long pants, just a vest, collared button shirt. The only thing you can really see of skin is like my head and hands, and there's no tattoos available.
Okay. Then I will, as we're getting ready to park up, I will say, Elijah, I've been trying to get a read on you about what your background is, and I'm just gonna come out and ask, were you like, before the crash, were you like ex-Spetsnaz?
You know, I don't really know. It was a hazy moment in my life. I know I don't know who I was, but I knew I must kill.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're on our side. Now, is there anything other than shooting you can do?
I pull out a little baggie of experience. I'll toss it to you. I can synthesize these kinds of things. And
It's a minor street drug.
It's a what?
It's a minor street drug called experience.
What does it do?
Euphoria. What would you
Like
describe it as, Jim?
Like a lessened effect of cocaine.
I was gonna say EMDA or Molly or something like that, or ecstasy.
A little less.
But if
like it's not enough to impair you unless you take a lot. It's about as good or bad for you as alcohol. But it's an upper instead of a down.
I gotcha. He would kind of look and say, that could be useful.
Indeed. Now,
Are you also good with computers and machines?
Yeah, not. I mean, I have touched technology a couple times here and there, and we get along just fine. But if you ever need somebody to look at the blood urinalysis sample, I can tell you the urinalysis composition, what kind of heavy metals were in there.
You're medically trained. You're medically trained.
Yes, and your guy over there, what was his name? Echo. Yes, Echo. His name is like a memory to me. But anyways, that guy, he needs to lay off the drink. His wound was looking pretty bad. Any worse, and they might get necrotic, and we might have to chop it off.
I'm literally the character who's never talking about drinking. I'm the only one who doesn't drink.
But you have a flask now. You have a hip flask around you now.
For some reason, I got the flask so everyone thinks I'm an alcoholic. I'm the only one not drinking.
Lance's flask comes with a reputation.
Apparently, yes.
Okay. Then as we park.
I was going to say, tell me about you. Now, I mean, there's obviously you guys have been working for some time together now, but who was this guy? Oh, Lance Rogers. Yes, I'm replacing him, right? Or am I going to be working for you?
He will stop you, and he will say, "You are not replacing Lance Rogers. No one can replace the LT. You get me?"
Yeah, but you are LT, no?
I am now. Yes. Yes, but he will always be my LT. And George will kind of look to Elijah and say, I get the feeling like there's a lot you can teach us, but I also get the feeling like there's a lot we can teach you. Like I said at the funeral, at the cemetery, you back us up, we'll back you up. You teach us, we'll teach you. This is a give and take team. When we united we stand, and divided and we have not fallen yet. And the fact that Lance fell trying to keep us united goes to show that we will always be there for each other. So just know, you don't have big shoes to fill, per se, but you do have a lot to prove on this team.
Oh, isn't that our stop up here? He just interrupt you.
We're already parked, and he'll be like, yeah, come on, let's go. And I'll open up the spinner, and I'll take out the keys and just walk in and make sure, and I'll look, and I'll look at Elijah and say, by the way, do you wear standard issue body armor wherever you go?
Yeah, no, not really. Okay. It hampers my ability to move around.
I gotcha. Well, I'm okay at it, but I got shot pretty intensely saving a comrade. So my sister kind of made me promise that I would always wear the body armor from now on. So do you have a preference on long arms?
No preference. Any gun with bullet is good for me as long as it's been sighted beforehand. If not sighted, then I can go sight as long as you got 30 minutes.
Okay. I will go into the trunk, and I will pull out Lance's assault rifle that he had sighted. And I will kind of look at it and just kind of take a deep breath. and I will shove it into your arms and say, "Congratulations, kid. This was LT's."
Hold on. Oh, wait, give me one.
An assault rifle.
He's gonna actually get an assault rifle.
I would say yeah.
Sorry, prop is coming out.
Sorry.
Okay.
So you've been handed an
Yeah.
assault rifle. Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh,
Is
you've
that,
been
an
rifle.
is that an airsoft?
Yeah, this is airsoft. But
Nice.
yeah, assault rifle, magazines out, bag checked. Just everything sighted, looked at, and then I'm like, good rifle. This
George
Lancelot
will-
was good, man.
George will actually, seeing as you know how to use that stuff, George will open up the trunk and then open up the false bottom, and inside you'll see like the 6 grenades, like three frags, three flashbangs, couple of medical supplies, 2 shotguns, another assault rifle, a spare PKD, and on the side in a case there's a big plastic polymer case that just says "Do not touch unless stone." And I imagine he'd probably be able to tell what's in the case just by the size of the case. It's the scoped rifle.
Yes. Given the fact that I just received a new Ender rifle, I kind of like. I look at it. I look at you, and just I develop a smile. I think we're going to get along just fine.
I hope so.
Now,
good.
let's go get this data, huh?
Both be
I
roll
agree.
observation for me. This is before you enter.
But-
Because you're
Okay.
parked outside of the building premises.
Gotcha. I'm gonna push that. Yeah, that's better.
So Elijah sees it first as you guys are entering. Especially since you have the same ocular implant. It's good for analysis. You look around, and there are no guards here, like it was said. There's a police line, crime scene. It's been condemned. But this old building still has that old school way of protecting itself, where it's a fence and it has metal electrified fence on the top, and then just a regular chain link at the bottom. You see that some of that electrified fence, while the main gate hasn't been open and still has a large chain around it, the top of it, the electrified fence, which is just a thin wire, like 3 or 4 wires on top, is slightly bent. Which to you, Elijah, means that someone might have jumped it and put an insulated tarp over it. Someone might have jumped it recently. And the rest of the fence, to both of you, looks like it's brand new, meaning they condemned it, so they wanted it to be somewhat secure. But to Elijah, you'd notice that it's been bent and it's not straight. So something was placed on it, and to you that seems like someone has broken in previously.
I give a heads up to Stone. Hey, Stone, looks like we aren't the first visitors. When's the last time you were here?
I think it was about 4 weeks ago.
Okay. Keep your eyes up.
I
what's
think
inside.
they had condemned it before that, hadn't they?
It wasn't condemned, it was just guarded. Now it's been condemned.
Okay. Gotcha. And you said it's got a padlock on it with a chain?
Yeah, like a large chain that wraps around the fence and then a huge lock. Which is very,
George will just pull out his PKD and say, "Well, no time like the present to knock on the door." And he will
shoot. Okay. You
Shoots
blast the
the
lock
lock
off. It falls, the chain rattles and goes to the ground, and you can open the fence.
Yeah.
Once you go inside,
Hey, wait. Sorry, just the whole shooting of a locked thing that would irritate. It would irritate Elijah. Elijah's like looking at you. I'm running behind the spinner, because I am not taking shrapnel from that.
no, you shoot. It spreads. Doors open. There are dried blood stains. Elijah can tell on the ground, dried on the cement. You enter in this supposedly abandoned building. It looks exactly as George remembers it, but for Elijah, it's dusty, it's old, there's clearly signs of a struggle that happened here at some point. And something else. Once again, both of you roll observation.
DM, I am going to remind you, we need to be done by 8.
Yep, no problem.
So that's in about 5 minutes.
2. Great. 1.
Thanks, Shock, for reminding me.
Of course.
I
No problem, I've got
appreciate
it.
it.
I've been keeping an eye on it.
No problem, I'm ending on time this time. No worries. But once you guys are looking on the ground with the dirt displaced, footsteps. Not too old, not current, meaning not right now, but to Elijah first. Someone's been here before. Recently. Not right now, but recently. More recent than 4 weeks. So, you guys move forward down to its old memory facility and its creation facility where it makes the replicant. And this time I need a tech roll.
How good is your tech, Elijah? Out of character, like how good is Elijah's tech, Nolan?
C with intelligence A, and then I'm also a scientist, but I'm not sure if I can.
Can I help him by giving him and give him advantage?
You have advantage on tech already, so
He does.
forensics will count for this. Yeah, he has advantage by nature.
Nice. Okay.
That's all you need. Save yourself the stress. That's 2 successes. Elijah, you walk around, you see the disturbance in the dirt, you look around, there's some wires, might be part of the computer. And that is when you realize that the 2 of you need to get out of here. This room's been rigged.
Oh no.
So I need
Run.
mobility from both of you as Elijah yells out to run. What do you say to George now that you have a couple of seconds to run far away?
I'm running towards George, and
Do you say
oh my
bomb?
God.
Do you say
yeah,
bomb?
I'm like bomb, 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 out.
Okay, and I will immediately
Mobility?
start.
For both.
Yeah, I will run. Yeah.
Disadvantage for George. There's a +2 if you want to use it.
Right, yeah. I am going to use a +2, so I'm going to
Normal roll, just untick
check.
it.
I'm going to push that. No!
Oh no!
One after the other. Okay. You run. Sorry, Elijah's going first. He sees it, turns around, shoves you out of the way, yells out bomb, 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 bomb. You start running. It's only the room, not the building.
Mm-hmm.
It does explode. Fire, shrapnel, force, knocking both of you down. Elijah doesn't take anything, but
Do I need to roll my armor?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, because you pushed the physical roll, you already took 1 point of injury. Because it's physical.
Oh. Okay.
So now just roll your armor on top of it.
That's good.
You'll take 3 more on top.
Jesus. Thank God I took tough. Holy fuck.
So you guys are running, you trip on a loose tile, the explosion catches you and blasts you into a wall. There's no burns or anything, but you get slammed into a wall from the force of the explosion, and some debris hits you in the back, bruising your body. The 2 of you just faced a massive explosion on the place that you needed information from. But before we go over time again, we will end the story there on that explosive note. So,
Well, not end
so
the
again,
story, but end the session.
ends the session there, or end the story for the night there. So, on that note, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for everyone who was here when Lance fell. You know, F's in the chat and all that. We now have a new character. We'll see you again next week to see if we are going to lose yet another character or not.
I hope not.
But until then, join the Discord for Cybernation Uncensored if you want to be part of these streams. But where can everyone else find these players? Echo.
Echo, come by the Discord. I'm always around. Message me. I'll be around. And that's pretty much it when it comes to social media. Everyone else has got a Twitch channel, but you'll only catch me here on Cybernation Uncensored.
Shockman.
Hey guys, I'm Michael Shockman. I apologize for losing my composure earlier, but good God, I loved Lance, and I was heartbroken for about 20 minutes. Anyway, you can find me on my own Twitch channel over at twitch.tv/DM Shockman. You can also find me on YouTube at both youtube.com/ at Michael Shockman and at the DM Shockman Institute. Those are two separate things. You can also find me on Twitter and where I post occasionally. And on just as a quick little thing, on Twitch right now I'm Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I am playing, currently doing my Let's Play series of Oblivion Director's Cut.
Right. And Dorsley.
Hi, I'm Dorsley. You can find me on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Instagram at Dorsley with 2 Y's. I am still playing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. However, I got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm not on as often as I would like to be, but I'm currently uploading to my YouTube channel a bunch of archival footage from my Dragon Age playthrough and my Bloodlines sessions that I have done. And you can also catch me here on Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. Super excited about that.
Neon Lords of Toxic Waste, run by
yours truly right here.
So where can everyone find you?
Absolutely. So I'm Nolan North. You can find me in this Discord as Nolan. Occasionally I'm in here in some play-by-post. I'm a community manager here, just taking a look at the community. It's always nice to have new people join us, and it's really cool to have people join us. Like somebody just casually comes in, watches a stream, comes to Discord, sees that there's a casting call, which I don't know if there's any open ones currently, but there'll probably be some down the road. So if you want to play in this game with and have like a wonderful time and have chat be a part of the actual experience, it's really fun. Besides that, you can catch me on Tuesday starting March 25th, with George Lee as one of our players. I'll be the Neon Lord running Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. Should be an exciting, irradiated, weird wasteland brawl.
So, thank you everyone for watching again. Please join the Discord, link is in the chat, and we will see you again next week. Bye!
Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Cybernation Uncensored.